Two guys who do not let me down for good games. Now, was that a drone cancellation? That was a drone cancellation. Oh my goodness. We're starting this off with a 12 pool. You're not cheesing me, Has. I'm cheesing you. His name stands for Does Rush Gratuitously. It's DRG! Oh, and Has just went for gas. Our Protoss player's initials stand for Help a Simulator Second Build. It's Has! Oh, I was so close on that acronym and then I totally blew it. But the point is, instead of making a gateway normally, Has took a brief pause. He spent 50 bucks on an assimilator first, and that could hurt him. Because DRG's pool has popped already, and 6 Zerglings are in production. Oh, but there might be a shred of good news for Has here. DRG is going to follow this up with a... Yes, he is going to make a hatch. I feel like if those 300 minerals went into additional Zerglings, this game might be over. And now Has is going to dump 400 into a Nexus. And only now does he scout. So DRG is not going all in with this. Little does he know, if he did, he'd probably get a quick W. Yeah, Has's wall is very unlikely to finish. And now Has's probe gets to scout at the halfway point on the map. To his credit, Has spots it on the mini-map instantly. He immediately starts chrono boosting a zealot. He tries to finish the wall. He doesn't have enough money. It's probes to the rescue. Can he contain the Zerglings? The zealot will be here soon. Oh, he has to pull back. So many probes are badly injured. Has is gonna try a drone drill probe style. And the zealot is out. 2 more lings slip in. What a crazy start to the game. I think Has can hold this. There's 2 more lings in follow-up, but there is an adept getting chrono boosted now. Has has lost a ton of mining time, but DRG is down on workers. But even with less workers, DRG is pulling in way more money right now. 5 dead probes and counting. 2 more lings looking to slip in. Where is that adept? It's coming out now. Nexus complete, but nobody cares. Probes 7 and 8 die. Has scrounges up enough money for a second adept. And DRG is droning behind this. He is very likely to get a worker lead off of this. Has gets the cleanup, but this was costly. That is how you start a game off with a bang. Double queens coming for DRG. Notice that he doesn't have any gas. It's a pure mineral build. He's making 4 additional Zerglings. I think those are for defense. There's 2 adepts on the way to counterattack now. He's left his zealot behind as a door guard. Oh, and since Has's build is pure minerals, that gives him the money to actually put down a 3rd. That was pretty cool, but is there an opportunity for Has to get some return damage? He tries to shade by the queens. The lings pick him up. Oh, the defense is solid. Those adepts are not gonna get anything but lings. Oh, DRG is all over him like a bad date. The first adept has already gone up in smoke. The second one is winding around and may get a shot at that mineral line. Has is gonna put down a forge. That's interesting. Here's the escape shade, but I think it's a distraction. I think Has wants to get drones. Oh, DRG with the spore save. The adept is not gonna get anything. No, she snags 2. That's her tombstone. Annabelle. She killed 2 drones when Has really needed them dead. If only my headstone were as meaningful as Annabelle's. So no tech for Has, just the forge. I guess that's what happens in these rush scenarios. DRG doesn't really have any tech either. He's just taking his first gases now at his natural. He actually doesn't have ling speed. What he is making though is a huge round of drones. He's guessing Has can't hit him in the near future, and he is right. And he's not really guessing. He's got his overlords scouting both of Has's bases. Has knows that can't stand, and so he's got a stalker coming out to deal with it. DRG's overlord is headed for that perching point. Can he reach Sanctuary? This is gonna be kind of close. I think the stalker has it. He will lose vision if the overlord escapes over high ground. It looks ridiculous when the high ground is that small. Yeah, he's disappeared. Come on, stalker, he's right there. You know he is. That has to be so frustrating. And now Has is gonna go ahead and make a Twilight Council. He needs tech badly. He is making +1 attack. DRG puts down a roach warren. If he no longer has convenient vision of the Protoss base, he needs that safety. Warp gate's complete, but I won't stand on ceremony. HAS is also going to add a Robo. Twilight and Robo, two things he really needs. He's at risk of getting Roach Ravager rushed, and it's hard to hold that without those two items. DRG hasn't stopped droning, and his income is starting to get scary. Oh, here's a lucky pickup. He's going to catch the probe trying to put down a third. The probe gets away, but that's a kind of delay on the third base. HAS doesn't lose any money, but he loses some time. But for vengeance, HAS has his own attack on the third. There's only a single queen here to defend. This time, HAS is getting his money's worth on the drone kills. He forces the drone pull too. A job well done, but these adepts want a tombstone like Annabelle. They go kamikaze for more drones. They get 7. But then DRG subs his lings in there and pulls out his drones as combat units. And now HAS is gonna get down that third. With his adept sacrifice, he's got himself a worker lead and he's ahead on income. I think he's got himself back in this. But have I spoke too soon? DRG has a sixth sense. He smells a new nexus. His lings go right for it. Where's the defense is pulled back? HAS is trying to guard the ramp, and that nexus is going to be Zergling Chow. Oh, big loss for HAS. Huge pickup for DRG. HAS did not want a collection of glowing Rubik's Cubes. He's going to remake. Meanwhile, he's getting +2, which could give him a double upgrade lead. And he's getting the charge upgrade to wield it properly. But DRG is bringing the roaches now. He knows that HAS is going to try that remake. HAS is probably already regretting he didn't remake it in an alternate location. DRG's got Ravagers now. This is going to be a tough hold. HAS has got one immortal. That's the key. Oh, but he can't protect his army and the base. He's going to have to sack the base. DRG's going to take the trophy and turn back. It's not just the cancellation money. It's the lost time here. HAS's bases are way oversaturated with probes waiting for that third that's not coming. DRG's adding a lair and an Evo chamber. HAS his supply block, so the only thing he's adding is tech. And that includes a battle duck. Archons would be a big help here. Poslings aren't going to get in the natural, but I think their real goal... Oh! Another naked expansion delay! I was going to say their goal is to locate the expansion, but they actually shut it down. DRG is just running back and forth between the two third base expansion sites. Oh yeah, I think HAS has had enough. He's getting himself a warp prism. He's gonna hit +2, and I think he's gonna go for the alternate strategy. He's gonna try to take the Zerg down a base. But DRG's really adding to his roach count. And he's getting roach speed. HAS is making a ton of pylons. I think he plans to get big. He's given up on making a third. He's adding an Archon, and that's a lot of +2 charge lots. Here comes the push. DRG is just making a ton of roaches. And he's got some lings available for a counterattack while HAS is away. HAS steps on to creep. DRG knows what's coming now. He's warping in Templar and more Zealots. DRG gathers his army between his second and third, getting ready to meet him. This is going to be a big showdown. HAS kind of has to do damage now. At this point, he's officially getting crushed economically. Oh, lings with the backstab, but the Archon is there to stop them. HAS is marching on the third. Guardian Shield goes on. Charge loss hit the roaches, but there are 6 Ravagers and the Biles are hitting the front lines. Lings moving in to backstab the Immortals. Zealots move to intercept, but there are not enough. One of the Zealots wind up attacking the eggs for a few seconds there. 7 Zealot warp in. Lings are on the Immortals. DRG is defending. He's got 14 more roaches on the way and HAS GG's out. Whew, that's a game 1. So, a lot of Zerg players have this reflex where as soon as Protoss puts up a row of sentry force fields, the Zerg player will select their Ravagers and immediately drop Caustic Biles to destroy them ASAP. After all, if your opponent wants them, they can't be good for you, right? And that's normally the case, but not always. Here, in the final battle with the game on the line, DRG applies some critical thought. Sure, the force fields split his forces and prevent his roaches on the south side from retreating, but once those roaches are dead, HAS's Zealots have no way of reaching his Ravagers on the north side. Sentry force fields are great for impeding Zerglings who attack from melee, but roaches, and especially Ravagers with a range of 6, can shoot over them. So, who are those force fields actually helping? What DRG did here is he split off his Zerglings and ran them around to the back. He's looking to pick off the Immortals. Immortals are great against Roach Ravager, but very inefficient versus Speedlings. This also means He has no Zerglings on the north side. Force fields kind of work for him. And look what happens to HAS. His charge lots quickly run out of targets on the south side, and all they're doing is taking a hit. This is a big deal, as HAS's force is primarily composed of +2 attack charge lots. At one point, with no other targets, his zealots follow a default instruction and go after the egg cocoons morphing by the hatch. That is a terribly inefficient thing to do in a battle. A cocoon has 200 hit points and 10 armor. 10 armor. To put that in perspective, that's more than an Ultralisk with chitinous plating and +3 armor. That's more than a fully upgraded battle cruiser. HAS moves to fix that immediately, but the damage is already done. And one more thing, every bile not hitting a force field is pretty much hitting HAS's units. Yeah, DRG knew what he was doing at every phase of this game. I say this all the time because people often forget, but for at least a year, DRG was the top Zerg in the world. There are some things, a lot of things, he does very, very well. Adjutant, if you would please.
The game begins now.
Maybe, just maybe, we'll get some proper intros in this time. DRG does seem to be making a drone, so there's no 12 pool this time. And there's Overlord number 2, so it looks fairly standard. Our Protoss player in the top right is gonna have to dig deep if he wants to come back from the pasting in game 1. Fortunately, it's a mentality that he has!
Current world rank 52.
And look at this, it's a high ground pylon, but not an econ pylon. Maybe HAS thinks he's playing Terran. Regardless, it's a gate and go with that probe scout. That means no hatch block for game 2. Fans of Morse code call our Zerg player --. But let's just call him DRG.
Current world rank 24.
I really do think HAS is up to something here. It's just a weird Protoss opening otherwise. Extractor pool for DRG. Oh, HAS is making a forge. This is a potential cannon rush, people. Heck, it's a probable cannon rush. There can't be many more players in the world with more experience at cannon rushing than HAS. But with most cannon rushes these days at the pro level, the thing to watch is how does the defender react. The pylon cannon placement doesn't have too much variation anymore. The pylon goes down at the bottom of the ramp. Here comes a drone. Only one. He has an opportunity to try to body block some of the warpins here. HAS says no and locks him out. DRG's gonna add 2 more drones. That's not a lot. Is DRG underreacting here? A walled cannon is produced in the center. DRG's got some drones on standby. Oh, so fast. HAS cancels and remakes his pylon and gets his probe out. Oh, DRG making spine crawlers. I love that. Zerg sort of has 3 main methods to deal with cannon rush, and this is my most favorite to watch. DRG's also got a queen coming up. The first cannon's gonna finish. The probe goes up to the high ground to get vision up there. He plants a pylon. The drones have to pull back to be away from that cannon. DRG's got 4 lings waiting to pounce. HAS adding a second cannon and a shield battery. Oh, the lings target the probe. That's who they want. If he loses the probe, this rush is over. DRG gets it, and the spine crawlers are done. They march forward. There's only going to be a single cannon in the end result here. The question's going to be who wound up investing more here. HAS with all his cancellations, or DRG with his lings and spine crawlers. DRG's cleaning up. HAS has a 3-worker lead. But DRG can repurpose those spines, and he can definitely put that queen to use. HAS actually finished his core behind this. He's making an adept and warp gate research. Actually, his second adept. His first one's already here. It's a cool follow-up, but it's walked right into that pack of Zerglings. DRG with the spore conversion to save a drone. And speaking of efficiency, HAS puts his forge to use by researching +1 right off the bat. DRG making 8 drones. He had some money saved up. HAS puts down his natural for a swift transition. The Protoss SimCity here is really unorthodox. HAS sending a second adept down to attack. He really just threw the first one away. I don't know if the second one will fare any better. DRG with so much money, he's gonna put down a third. After that last round of drones, DRG's got a big worker lead. Oh, DRG moved the spies to protect his natural. HAS is not gonna be able to get anything more than a scout here. He wouldn't. He does! HAS is so gutsy with his adepts. An attempted Evo block to box out the adept. Turns it into a spore instead to save the drone. This is a cool kamikaze run, and you gotta give HAS points for bravery. But it's not doing damage, and it's gonna cost him an adept. And we can see HAS is losing on the resources lost tab. This is when I appreciate some of those pylons weren't canceled, they were lost. So not only is HAS down a game, he's now got to play from behind. He will once again have that upgrade lead. He's adding 2 additional gates to help him put it to use. Roach Warren goes down for DRG. DRG's got the income lead, and has to be worried if Zerg suddenly pivots to a massive roach attack. The game could end quickly. HAS is getting himself a Twilight Council, but he doesn't have a robo to help him deal with those roaches. He probably needs shield batteries to stay alive at this point. But if he makes him and DRG doesn't attack, he's even further behind. These lings are so confused. You've used a Nexus as part of your wall? That's so cool. You know how I've been saying for years Protoss needs a way to wall off without using their core? Maybe this is the secret sauce, I don't know. Okay, Hallucinated Phoenix is gonna see that Roach Warren and gonna see some roaches in production. 7 in fact, that's not likely for defense. I think DRG smells blood. HAS starts +2. He had a double upgrade advantage in game 1 and it didn't do too much for him. You really have to be badly outnumbered to lose when you have a double upgrade advantage. Well, DRG's about to have him pretty badly outnumbered. Roaches just popping out of the woodwork here. Is he gonna have enough gas to turn some of them into Ravagers? Is this Overlord actually scouting, or is he just trying to distract everybody? Either way, it's gonna see Blink researching. That is not gonna finish in time. Roaches just streaming up the center of the map. 18 lings in production. And yes, Ravagers are morphing. It's morphin' time. Yes, this is a full-on Zordon. Nobody cares about that Overlord. Nobody cares. DRG's already got the replacement ready to pop. Oh, if HAS could pop out and kill those Ravagers before their support arrives. Never mind that, the support is already here. There's only 1 shield battery and 0 immortals. This SimCity's gonna have to be insanely good. HAS is warping in Stalkers, that's really all he can make here. He is so far away from a disruptor, it's not even funny. DRG up 40 supply and adding 14 more Zerglings. There's like a Zergling for every leg on the Stalkers. Force fields, traps a few lings, and a roach. This time DRG decides he will kill the force field. But the lings just pour right inside. They are on the Stalkers, pressed up against the Nexus. There's the battery overcharge. HAS pulls back inside his wall. Oh, Warping and Zealots cannot dodge Caustic Vials. HAS's army is non-existent. It's GG. It's a quick end to the series. DRG is victorious. Okay, so holding off a horde of Roach Ravager with Zerglings is pretty hard to do without Splash. Usually, around this phase of the game, Protoss is looking to get out a Disruptor to force the Ravagers back. But here, not only does HAS not have a Robo Bay, he doesn't even have a Robo. No Immortals at all. No charge upgrade for his Zealots either. How does he defend this with Stalkers alone? The answer, of course, is he doesn't. But can we all take a moment to reflect on HAS's wall like it's some kind of alien sculpture? Longtime watchers of this channel know I've long believed Protoss needs a better way to wall off. Could this somehow be it? Has HAS somehow cracked the code? Or was this just a bizarre response to his cannon rush with the depth follow-up falling flat? If Terrans can build walls with command centers, can TOS do it with a Nexus? I gotta think more on this. Let's call it a work in progress, and we'll check back. Anyways, props to DRG for a near flawless series. From his calm defense of the cannon rush in this game to pivoting to the attack, DRG was all over it. Next time, HAS, you're still the man. And so from my base to yours, Zugzwang out. To continue your Starcraft journey, Nova advises you to click the video in the upper rectangle. But Kerrigan warns you to watch your 6 and click the video in the bottom rectangle. Or you can stimpack your Starcraft experience. Subscribe to Zugzwang Starcraft. Just hit the circle. From my base to yours, Zugzwang out.